How's it going, everyone? I am the Shaz here with your video on the third official SBL. This SBL will most likely start after the beginning of the LEI Fest banner, though with the accelerated schedule on the global server, it's hard to say when the exact date of this event will be. I say this because of two things. First, the most recent SBL we just finished with Borarara, Toriko Please, and Chase actually came after the Steam Maiden Exchange event. And second, this SBL song list came after the Raindrops Marathon event. In total time, there was a 7-week gap without SBL on the JP server due to Dream Live Parade being inserted into the normal calendar in the middle of the month, pushing SBL to the end of the month. As I will state before we get into the meat of every SBL video, make sure you have teams to do at least one daily voltage run per song during SBL. Even if you don't think you have a particularly great team for voltage runs, do them. The number of tokens and star gems from SBL that you can get from not only the daily voltage totals, but the overall voltage totals as well, varies wildly. So I highly encourage you to do those voltage runs, even if you don't win the voltage category MVP. The group that gets the stat bonuses this time around is Aqua. On the surface, it doesn't seem to be that much of an issue since there aren't multiple cards of the same attribute that are broken per se, but it will make for some interesting team composition choices based on the SBL songs. The songs this time around: No Exit Orion for Muse, Aozora Jumping Heart for Aqua, and Yume E No Ippo for Nijigasaki. Let's get into the Muse song, No Exit Orion, which we just had as part of the voltage rankings for the Steam Maiden Exchange event. It is a cool attribute song with a non-standard debuff of -10% to skill activation rates of off-attribute cards. This is cleansable, so even if it may not seem like a large debuff, I'd still suggest that you bring a cleanser along. All of the appeal chances are voltage based and have no intra-AC gimmicks, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem to clear. For voltage runs, you'll normally want to bring the same team you would for an unattributed song, but you will want to take another hard look at cards like Kanan 1, Fest Mari, Veggie Wonderland Yohane, and Steam Maiden Hanamaru. If you happen to have a lot of high limit break cool cards and you want to stay fully on attribute, also consider backlining cards like Fest I if she's not your best scorer, Maki 1, and even Soreboku Nico and Brightest Melody Chica, since all of their passives buff the appeal of other cool attribute cards. For SP cyclers, I cannot emphasize this enough. Bring a cleanser. If you happen to have a switch cleanser, I would tend to prioritize this over something like a gauge pop cleanser if you're running off attribute gauge fillers, since you won't get to the first AC for a while. You could run things like Event Wolf Chica or Steam Maiden Hanamaru, but I would only do something like this if I know I'm going to utilize a switch cleanser, since I know I can try to proc the cleanse swapping between gauge fill strategies. Bracelets are going to be pretty key here, as if you can cleanse the debuff, the ACs are spaced out enough to where you can charge an additional gauge or two between them, depending on where you are in the song. Skill cheesers, you're not immune from this advice either. Bring a cleanser. Songs like this really end up screwing with your totals if you don't build your teams correctly, so remember to prioritize cards like Rico 1, Kanan 3, the event one, and Rainbow Rose Karen. Outside of this though, you are not going to deviate too much from your normal skill cheese strategy. Next, we have the Aqua song, Aozora Jumping Heart, or Ao Jump. This song normally sports a -15% debuff to appeal for off-attribute cards, so you will definitely want to bring a cleanser for voltage runs. The first two appeal chances rely on gauge usage, and they do come relatively early, so running something like a Kasumi 1, Fruits Nico, or Soreboku Nozomi could help, though it is 17 notes until the first AC. As far as what you are likely to see in the way of team composition, there will most likely be a high priority put on high limit break Fesios, and possibly as a secondary score, a max limit break Cheerleader Chica if someone wants to go that route. For SP cyclers, this song has a very high risk-reward threshold. I've had instances playing this song on the JP server where I was able to get a gauge off before the first AC, refill before the AC came, then pop the gauge again during the AC to clear, fill using my bracelets and cheerleader Kanon, pop again, and then have enough to fill for the second AC to clear that and refill again with bracelets. I've also had instances where my fill cards just didn't activate their abilities and I failed the first 2 ACs because I thought I would be able to mirror what I described in my previous runs. You have to pay very close attention to your skill triggers. If they aren't happening, bite the bullet, save the gauge, and just refill via bracelets upon AC completion. Most likely, the only thing that will concern skill cheesers is the total number of notes, 143. A low number of total notes means that even with your normal SK cheese, your activation numbers will seem off. Nothing is wrong, it's just a byproduct of notes. What you should be most concerned about is keeping your skill activation rate right around what you are normally able to get, around 50 to 65% of the total notes to win MVP. The last song for this SBL is Yume E No Ippo, Ayumu's first solo. The overall song gimmick is just a 10% appeal debuff to off attribute cards, so you will probably want to bring a cleanse card for this one, especially for voltage runs. There are only 3 appeal chances in this song as well, so this is another instance in which bracelet effectiveness goes way down. On the bright side, the ACs are all voltage based, with low voltage totals at that, so it shouldn't be too hard to clear them. As far as team compositions go, unless you have something like a max limit break Chica 2 or a max limit break Yo 3, I don't see anything that would benefit enough from the stat bonuses to warrant throwing into a main scoring strategy. Speaking of the ACs, SP cyclers and skill cheesers, you're in luck. Let's look again at the gimmicks within the ACs. A base 20% skill activation rate up to all cards during the ACs. What does this mean? Well, this will probably mean your overall SP gauge uses and skill activations will go way up, even though the song just has a couple dozen more notes than Ao Jump. I've had runs on JP, granted, those were 20-person rooms versus the 10-person rooms that we have on Global, where you had to get a minimum of 14 gauges just to win an SP MVP, and the average total to win skill activations was in the hundreds. Bring your best mozzarella, Gouda, Swiss, and Limburger to win some MVPs. And that concludes this 3rd official SBL preview video. Once again, a big thank you to Xifrid for help with some of the visual assets for this video. If you enjoyed the video and would like to support my work, share this video, subscribe for free here on YouTube, follow me for free on Twitch over at twitch.tv/IamTheShaz, and join my Twitch channel Discord. Links will be in the description below. If my Twitch and or YouTube content is worthy enough and you would like to support monetarily, you can subscribe to or give bits on my Twitch channel. It is never required of you as a viewer, but always greatly appreciated. Finally, a big thanks to my Twitch subs, CO SIFAS, 86 Romy, Minomone, Shut It, Poker Dottie, AJ Bailey 3, Kotaro-chan, JMSYNR, and Super Penguin 7, most of whom have gifted subs in the channel as well. I've been I Am The Shaz, take it easy, be nice to each other, and I'll see you all next time.